Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Disney begins trying to figure out what they're going to do with all the recently acquired Fox properties. Is Namor the Submariner finally coming to the MCU? The Joker movie already building Oscar buzz, and we've got a full spoiler review of season 1 of The Boys on Amazon. All that and much more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, August 15th, 2019.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
That's right. What's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And that over there is a puppet vigilante who has sworn to take down all the superheroes on the Muppet Show. He's known on the street as the Felty, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I'm fighting crime and doing time.
That's right. That's right. How's that? You got to take down Supergirl over Rugs. He's getting a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
And
gotta kick his ass
yeah.
a little bit. Far and near.
Far? What about the middle ground, Super Grover? You're forgetting middle.
Yeah, he's completely polar.
Absolute puppet power absolutely corrupts puppets. That's just remember that.
This is true.
Look, we got a couple of things in news to get to, and we're going to talk about an amazing superhero show.
Spider-Man?
Oh, well, no. There was Spider-Man. I took it out of the notes. Whatever.
Oh, great.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I don't know what's going to happen. Join us as we get to the geek news.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
I want to start with this article from Variety I found very interesting about what happens when one giant entertainment company buys the seventh biggest entertainment company. Disney paid $73 billion for Fox earlier. Disney,
a lot of bones.
Disney, arguably high market share. Apparently Fox 7 out of 7 in terms of market share. So it was like number 1 buying number 7. This article is titled "Fox Feels the Pressure from Disney as Film Flops Mount."
Oh shit.
It's nice alliteration in the headline. But basically, a lot of interesting facts about how this process is going and what Disney is dealing with. Wow, now that they have all this Fox shit. For example, I got a couple of bullet points. This article reveals they've lost $170 million on Dark Phoenix.
Oh, shit.
Bob Iger, pretty much on the earning calls, just called out all of Fox Studios, saying the performance was well below where it had been and well below where we hoped it would be when we made the acquisition. Basically, like, yeah, their shit sucks. Reportedly, over 250 Fox projects have been scrapped or paused.
Oh, shit.
That's a lot.
From going into production. And from what I could tell, it was largely original things. You know, they don't want to risk on these original things. Also in this article, it mentions Disney largely ignored Dark Phoenix after it acquired 20th Century in March. According to sources, the marketing team familiar with the film was laid off, and Disney did not spend as aggressively to promote the release.
Wouldn't have helped.
Well, and it didn't help. It definitely hurt.
Well, let me just throw in, I don't know if you were going to say this,
yeah.
But of all the Fox films that Disney's had to distribute, only one has been profitable, which was called the movie Breakthrough.
Yes, that was this, and that's like a small, low-budget movie nobody has heard of.
The ones we've heard of that Fox was making that Disney released: X-Men, Dark Phoenix,
yep,
Stuber
also a flop.
Art of the Racing Men, all flops.
The art of
the Racing in the Rain.
That's
Sorry.
that dog movie where the dog hangs out with the race car driver and the dog is in the race car. And I was like, what the fuck? We're in this weird time where there's all these weird dog movies. Have you noticed that?
Jesus.
There's something like A Dog's Life and like there's
We
just
make Cujo.
yeah. Well, how about that?
They're doing it.
Are they? They probably are.
They should, yeah. So lots of flops. Breakthrough being the only profitable movie. Here's where it gets more interesting. Apparently, Disney Studio is unimpressed with Josh Boone's New Mutants, the X-Men spinoff with the haunted house vibe, and they believe it has limited box office potential. Oh.
You're gonna scrap it.
Well, let's play Studio
Direct
Head,
to video.
guys. What do you do?
Direct to video.
You just bought Fox
Put it
for
on Netflix.
$73 billion. Dark Phoenix tanked for you. You have this movie that's done. You are not impressed with it.
Well, you can't put it on Netflix.
You could sell it to Netflix and make some dough.
Well, but they have their own streaming. You could put it on Hulu.
But you're also planning to reboot.
Yeah, but you don't make money that way, really.
Or just the subscribers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could. I don't know if they at this point
Who's signing
Netflix would
on
do
for that?
business. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if Netflix would want to do business with Disney at this point.
No,
Probably not.
I don't think they're going to ever be doing business.
I mean,
ever.
let's be when Dark Phoenix, that first trailer came out, I was like, oh wow, this kind of looks different.
Yeah.
But or not Dark Phoenix, sorry, New Mutants.
New Mutants. Yeah, we saw there was
Definitely
a whole.
looked different.
Yeah.
But was it Fox that already was like, we got to reshoot a lot of this, or was that when Disney was already kind of involved?
No, I think Fox already did reshoots because it was supposed to come out and never came out.
They tested it and they were like, people didn't think it was scary enough. You have Arya Stark in there as an X-Men, and that's not helping.
Well, Arya doesn't really
Ariel
pull in
Stark.
she doesn't really pull in
She's
the
not like a
people.
Sophie Turner. It's not like a.
She's not really a draw to me either.
I love Maisie Williams. I think she's an incredible actress in Game of Thrones. I would love to see her as an X-Men in
I
a
don't
horror
know if
movie.
I'm signing up for a movie just to see her. I'm
So,
sorry.
there was that story earlier that they were going to pay to do reshoots, but they're probably, after losing all this money, they're probably second thinking that too. I don't know. Do you it would suck. All these people worked on this movie, just completely
what
kill
they
it.
do with
Just put it on the shelf.
I don't know if you kill it, but I don't know.
It's
I
got to
really
go to
don't know.
video. It's got to
Yeah,
go to.
you-
It's got to go to on demand or whatever.
Yeah, you got to put it somewhere, right?
I mean, they're not going to put it on Disney Plus streaming.
No.
They would put it. It would be Hulu would be the
Hulu would
only
be the
place
yeah.
to put it. But do you want to? I don't know. Do you want to throw another dud of an X-Men movie after the last dud?
It
Like,
doesn't matter at that point.
I guess not.
If they're gonna scrap it anyway, might as well put it on.
Put it on Hulu.
Put it on Hulu.
This next bit is also interesting. The studio is also grappling with how to fit the very R-rated Deadpool into its PG-13 rated Marvel universe. They're trying to find a way the character to move seamlessly between Avengers spin-offs and his own standalone movies. I always thought it would be hilarious. You do standalone R-rated movies where he gets to swear and do everything, and then he shows up as a cameo in the MCU movie, and he tries to swear, and it just gets beeped, and like he can't, and it makes him frustrated.
I like that too.
Right? It's self-aware. It's part of his character.
There's a lot of mosaics going on.
And he could be like, I can't wait till I get my next movie so I could say
There's a lot
fuck.
of blurring of baby penis.
A lot of, yes. Well, you couldn't do all that. Because, look, we've seen the PG-13 Deadpool did not do that well.
No, and I told you it was going to suck.
Yeah. So their experiment kind of failed. But I think if you're self-aware.
I mean, he's the only character besides, what's his name? Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Right,
And,
yeah,
and Hugh
yeah.
Jackman's just kind of old now.
Yeah.
Those are the only two characters that anyone's like, I want to see them interact with some of the Marvel people. Everyone else could be recasted.
Yeah. But to see Ryan Reynolds interact with the MCU is going to be crazy whenever they do that.
You have to think of a clever way to make it all work.
And then what studio, how do they put out an R-rated Disney Deadpool?
I don't know. That's what sucks about Disney.
Yeah. Then they're like, what happened? They're all, this is your brand. You're going to sully your brand now?
It really has to be super mainstream, super safe.
So speaking of that, Ruggs, that's part of the problem. This article also talks about how they're killing all the original stuff and they're focusing on the avatars, the big commercial safe products that Disney brand delivers. But there's also Fox Searchlight, which is the independent wing of Fox Movies, and it's always put out amazing independent movies, critically acclaimed. It's well known for that. They're putting out this movie. Have you heard about the Jojo Rabbit movie?
I saw the trailer, but I don't remember. I just remember being wacky.
I have the trailer linked in here if you want to run it. This is a movie. Disney's worried about this. Directed by Taika Waititi and starring Taika Waititi. He also wrote the screenplay. Written and directed by Taika Waititi. It's about a small German boy in Germany in the 40s. Taika Waititi plays his imaginary friend who is Adolf Hitler.
Oh, shit.
Yes, that's what this Jojo Rabbit movie is about. The synopsis is a young boy in Hitler's army finds out his mother is hiding a Jewish girl in their home, and Taika is playing his imaginary Hitler friend of this boy.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching the trailer. That is Taika as Hitler.
I was like, oh, shit, it's Korg. That's Korg playing Hitler.
Scarlett Johansson's in this, too.
It's a pretty good cast. And
Sam Rockwell.
I like the trailer. Rebel Wilson is in it. Alfie Allen, Stephen Merchant. The trailer was wacky and really interesting, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie?
But I think he should be able to make that movie.
Yes, he should.
Why not? It's an artistic thing. Let him fucking do it.
And if you put it out
you got to roll this out.
Yeah, if you put it under Fox Searchlight and just keep the Disney name off of it.
Prudes.
Right?
What is this shit?
It is going to be out as
This
Fox
is America.
This is this is
America.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
why are we like we've crossed the ocean to get away from like puritanical bullshit, you know? And now we're here and we're back to it again. People censoring shit.
It's true.
People worry about like it's an art. This guy's an artist.
It's an artist, and this isn't a
All right?
piece of art.
Making a movie.
Yeah.
If it's controversial, let the movie fail. Like if people don't like it, they don't have to watch it.
That's true.
But I don't know. They're shitting their pants? Like look at James Gunn. He fucking made a movie where Superman just kills everybody.
Good
with
point.
Brightburn.
It's a lot like it's similar to The Boys that we're going to be talking about a little
Yeah.
later.
He's not even. He's talking in his New Zealand accent.
Yes,
Hitler.
it is a great trailer.
He's not even trying.
It's
Yeah, it's so much a comedy.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's not serious.
But like Hitler and the boy are skipping and dancing and there's balloons. It's fucking great. Now, Disney can either, try to bury this movie by giving it a fucked up release date.
It's so lame.
Or
I don't know if
put
they're
it
going
out.
to bury it
Yeah.
because I think it's obviously they're concerned, but they do have a really good relationship with Taika Waititi.
Yes.
With the Marvel stuff.
Yes,
So I don't think they necessily want to shit in his fucking cereal right
Yeah,
now.
let this movie fail on its own with dignity. All right? Let this if people don't want this movie and they don't want to see it, it'll go away.
And I don't think it's going to fail. I think it's going to be like a quiet hit and be an awards contender.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I just saw that. I'm just reading this now that they're saying that the reason why this was going through the Toronto International Film Festival is that's usually a launching pad for Oscar winners.
Yeah, so they're looking at this at an awards contender.
Fox Searchlight was thinking this could win some awards.
Yeah, and Searchlight's won a lot of Oscars with their indie movies. They do make great indie movies. So
people are such fucking babies.
Look, I would say Bob Iger, don't fuck with Fox Searchlight. Let them do
Shape of Water was a Fox Searchlight.
Yes, and
he fucked the fish.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's a Disney movie now.
He said two things already that legitimately got me to laugh. He fucked a fish. This is America.
Those are going to have to be clips on the soundboard. I will be pulling those. So Jojo Rabbit seems like a lot of fun. Meanwhile, on the other end of things, the MCU, 3 movies this year alone for Disney have made over $5 billion.
Oh, shit.
And counting still.
Well, look, I understand what Disney's whole thing is, the MCU $5 billion this year.
Just this year alone.
They're going to make money on the rides, the merchandise, the toys, the t-shirts.
Yep.
They're going to make money on this for fucking ever.
Yeah.
In every single way, every single shape you could fucking imagine,
Absolutely.
coloring books, everything.
Put that shit on
Just let Taika
everything.
make the Hitler movie.
And the Hitler movie, you're not going to go to the store and buy Taika Waititi
There's
Hitler
going to be
shirt.
no merchandise
I
from
would
Jojo
buy it.
Rabbit? I would.
Yeah.
I want a
don't know.
Jojo Rabbit backpack.
But then I probably get killed in the street. If they don't get the joke, if they don't know that it's a fucking funny movie
So really,
about Hitler.
if you think about the 170 million loss at Dark Phoenix, that's like nothing. It's literally like change
I don't know.
to them. All the fucking money they are printing.
I don't think they would have. I think Disney would have maybe been okay releasing this. I just don't like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I just think the times now they're a little worried.
I just think, okay, like, this is the way that I think that things should go in a society that wants art to exist is that you have.
Do we want art to exist?
Yes,
sell
we
out.
do.
You need it.
I'm saying like the society as a whole, the people that are on social media.
I think people in general don't.
Right.
But they
Because
don't
they're
know.
stupid.
They don't know that they need it.
That was my point.
Yes.
But I think that you need it to progress as a society.
Absolutely.
To ask questions, to feel things, to kind of to learn about things, to go through catharsis and feel pain and whatever. And I think that what happens is in a perfect world, the sellout shit, the shit that like they print money with.
Yeah.
They should use that to fund art that's like
absolutely
edgier,
that's
yes.
kind of left of center, and voices that need to be heard, and all these things, and just ideas that need to be put out there. And they should be championing that. They should be like, okay, we're going to take all of this fucking money that we're making with all of this fucking easy, safe bullshit, and we're going to try and do, get some scary shit out
or
there
something
too.
Provocative, something thought provoking,
or find the next great director or actor and
develop
fund
them.
That
Exactly.
movie. Yeah.
Develop independence. Absolutely, you should take the commercial money. I always thought that in music too. Like if you were a band, it's so easy to write a pop song. You write one big pop song, make all that cash, and then be like, okay, this is what I really wanted to do, and make the music you really wanted to do, being funded by
Sometimes
popular.
that doesn't work out though for the artist.
Yeah, because then they don't come back. People expect a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Music is a whole other
Music
thing.
is a whole other thing. But
That's a different media.
I do like that thought. Ruggs, listener, tell us what you think. Will this Disney-Fox merger end up in more layoffs and more scrap projects? Join the Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's exclusive. It's closed. You can hang out. We're all in there. Rug Boy's in there. All of you great listeners are in there. Get to meet them. I want to know your name, listener. I know a lot of your names, but I want to know.
Speak your name.
We will speak your name. Okay, moving on. I have a couple of rumors here, and normally I don't like to put rumors on the show, talk about them, because they're usually bullshit and amounts to nothing. These two are really fun and amazing regarding the MCU, and I hope and I think that they could actually happen. High likelihood. The first one, there was rumors for like the last week, 2 weeks and a half, that the villain in Black Panther 2 was going to be fucking Namor, the Submariner. Now, these were from sources like We Got This Covered and Cosmic Book News, and they're like, this is the same guy who brought us the rumors. He got this and this right. So I don't know what the credibility is, but now there's a report revealing Marvel is casting a character who sounds an awful lot like Namor. Codenamed David, they're described as a ruler of ancient distant kingdom. Marvel Studios is looking for an actor who is of Asian descent.
Really?
And I think this may be somebody they could introduce in the Eternals or Doctor Strange and then lead into Black Panther 2.
What about
and establish
the Mandarin?
Oh,
shit.
They have the Mandarin
already
cast
the Mandarin.
Oh, they do.
Tony Leung.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We talked about that last time. I forgot. I'm sorry. But did you know that Namor spelled backwards is Roman?
Is it Ramon? Oh, no, it's Roman. That's right.
That's right.
Hey, they should get Mike Moe.
Namor's always kind of been drawn as like an Asian-looking guy.
Yeah, slightly. And remember in Endgame, Okoye says there was an earthquake underwater in Wakanda.
Right.
Yeah.
They could easily set that
Well,
up.
in Iron Man 2, if you look at the map behind Tony Stark at the end of the movie, there's a little dot in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, shit. And there's like a label on there.
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
I like it too.
Dude, I think it's a brilliant and
Namor is a great anti-hero. Almost, he's more so. A lot of times when I've read him, he's written more as a villain than a hero.
He's anti-hero.
Well, he's a big asshole for sure.
He plays both sides. He's kind of like a Loki, but not as mischievous. But I like introducing him as a bad guy, and then his motivations shift, and he kind of needs help. But ultimately, he's just a dude looking out for his kingdom.
Yeah, he's just like not on anyone's team. He's on his own team.
Yep.
And he has a huge crush on Sue Storm.
Oh, he does?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Excalibur.
He
does it.
Wasn't he in the Illuminati, Anthony, also?
He was
in the comics.
He was the asshole.
Yeah,
he played the asshole role in the Illuminati.
He's a great asshole role.
We need more assholes.
He was the pragmatic guy that was like, "The fuck are we sitting here talking about? Let's just kill these motherfuckers.
He's like, let's
what are we
do
doing
this
here?
already. Enough fucking jabbering.
You would have solved this problem if you just killed this motherfucker.
He's like, blow up that universe. Let's go. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Now, the thing why we haven't seen it anymore is the rights, similar to the Hulk, convoluted set of rights
Universal,
with Universal. Exactly. So it may be the same thing. Where
Same thing,
the
yeah.
Hulk can be in a movie, just can't have a standalone.
Star in his own. I would love to see him in Black Panther. They've done a really good job of a lot of the modern comics. I've done a really good job of building up the rivalry between Black Panther and Namor. It's like the clash of kings.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sort of feel so.
There will be a great
That would
conflict.
be interesting.
Yes, like their philosophies are opposite, but they kind of want the same thing. They're both looking out for their people.
The dude lives in the water.
He's great. He talks to fish.
He's got a huge kingdom.
Look, here's my pick. I don't know how old he is. The guy who played Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Mike Moe.
Mike Moe?
Yeah, put him in.
I want to see Moe and Mike Moe.
Speaking of, did you guys talk about you might have talked about it on the Mike Rip show, but did you talk about how there was Shannon Lee was real upset about how he was portrayed?
I didn't like it either.
Yeah, we briefly discussed, and there's been back and forth.
And then Quinton came out recently. It was like doubled down, like Bruce Lee was an ass or something like that. Paraphrasing.
Bruce Lee did talk a lot of shit.
Sure.
All right, but he backed it up a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But he was a huge personality, and a lot of it was charisma, and a lot of it was arrogance and stuff like that. So I guess he's poking fun at that.
Yeah.
But I guess even when I watched the movie, I was like, he's really making a joke out of Bruce Lee.
Well,
but isn't it like Tarantino's whole thing, like his version of history?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. He's an artist; he can do what he wants. I think people should just be like, okay, I don't like that version of Bruce Lee. I'm not going to campaign and fucking protest it.
No, but I think it was fun. Shannon Lee said some shit, and then Tarantino's like, look, Cliff Booth's not a real character, first of all, and there's stories of Bruce Lee being arrogant. And then Shannon Lee commented back, she's like, yeah, just shut the fuck up already about it.
The thing is Shannon Lee never even knew her dad.
Yeah, she was like, she was a little baby when he got killed?
So she's going on hearsay too.
Yeah.
She's going on her own stories from the Lee family.
It's one of those things, though, where it's like I can make fun of my family, but you can't make fun of
But it is not a historical document, this movie.
I think that this is fucking complete bullshit. Because how many Bruce Lee send-ups have there been?
Yeah.
There's been like so many like movies that make fun of Bruce Lee, even from Asian people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A Fistful of Yen from Kentucky Fried Movie was a complete making fun of Bruce Lee. They Call Me Bruce. Remember those movies that came out? And then there was a bunch of Asian movies, Kung Fu, whatever.
Right?
Yeah, Bruce Lee's still the greatest.
I haven't seen the movie, but my take on it is it's art. So it's not like this is a historical documentary about Bruce Lee.
I mean, Sharon Tate doesn't even die in this movie. Spoilers.
Right. Oh, shit.
Spoilers.
Well, and the other thing is that the actual interaction, the moment, it's kind of like they cut away. They don't really let it get too far.
It was like a tie, right?
Sort of, yes. It was kind of a tie, and it got interrupted. Like, it wasn't really like a knockout, drag-out fight.
Yeah, he probably could have adjusted his fight game and fucking beat him.
Right. Bruce Lee would have turned around and got him once he figured out Cliff Booth's style. It's a hilarious scene, but it was so short.
But the fact that he's got to sit there and explain himself is ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's another rumor.
Well, hey, besides that guy to play Namor, you're going to talk about this guy later, but I saw rumors for Henry Golding to be Namor.
Henry Golding?
To be Namor.
Oh, from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, the guy that we're going to talk about with in a little bit.
We will talk about him in a second. Before, I want to talk about this other rumor, which I also love, and that is that Wesley Snipes may play Marvel's Dracula in the Mahershala Ali Blade MCU reboot.
How old is Wesley Snipes?
It don't matter.
It don't matter. Black don't crack. He looks the same.
True.
He doesn't.
Well, Dracula's old.
Yes.
All right,
That's true. Dracula is old.
All right, that's number one.
I love this idea for several reasons. Yes.
Dracula is from Transylvania, I guess. Supposed to be.
I guess.
But, okay, but it's Wesley Snipes, so I don't care. It's like, I want to see Wesley Snipes in a Marvel movie. Yes. I don't care what he has to do.
I think it's a great way to work him in, and then you can introduce the Marvel monster world with the Dracula and Wolfman and all the monster characters.
Real niche Marvel.
1970s Tomb of Dracula. Marvel had a comic from the 70s, very niche. But I hope this one's true too, because it would be a nice nod to the OG and
the guy that really started it all.
Yeah,
before X-Men. Blade 99.
Before even, and it only was that because nobody knew it was a comic book movie. They're just
including this kid right here.
They're like,
I had no idea Blade was a Marvel character.
Nope.
I do.
That's why it worked. That's why it worked better than Howard the Duck.
I used to read Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night, and he was in that shit all the time.
I think I knew of Blade 2 when the movie came out. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking Blade.
You never really had him interact with anyone.
No,
that was mainstream.
Right?
No.
But you want to know something? Wesley Snipes like made Blade cool.
Yeah.
Because in the comic books, he was kind of like, hey, this guy, all right, whatever. But like when he did it, and he was doing some crazy ass kung fu shit and kicking everybody's ass, he had like little toys like Batman and shit. It was awesome.
Dude, his succinct
haircut too.
Yeah.
His whole fighting style and the way he fights in the first Blade movie is so fucking cool. It's so good. Totally works. All right, back to Henry Golding. This is a piece of news article Ruggs wanted to really include because Henry Golding rumored to star as Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe spinoff of Snake Eyes.
Geek boner.
Snake Eyes being one of my most prized G.I. Joe toys.
Who was his rival?
What was his name?
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow. And
they grew up together, right?
Yes.
Isn't that the thing?
I think so.
In the movie, they make it so like they grew up together, and then Storm Shadow was jealous of him because he was like the protege, and that's how they became like rivals,
right,
enemies, and then they both went to like different factions. One joined Cobra, which is the terrorist group, and one joined G.I. Joe, which is the hero group.
Dude, I had both toys. I had the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. I would make them fight all the time in these epic battles. Like Snake Eyes, both of them were highly sought after G.I. Joe toys. Now
they're the coolest looking
they
G.I.
were,
Joes.
yeah, and because
they and the villain Snake Eyes look awesome.
Well, if you watch the Toys That Made Us, they were just had run out of money for Snake Eyes to color him.
Yeah,
so they just left him all black, and that's what made him cool.
Yeah, because he's a ninja. So from what I remember, Ruggs, we never saw Snake Eyes' face ever.
We did in the comic books. In G.I. Joe, the comic book, he was revealed many times to be a white dude with like blonde hair,
really,
and like a scarred up face. Yeah,
I read a few of the comics. I never read mostly the cartoons.
Just do a Google right now, Snake Eyes face.
But also Ray Park played Snake Eyes in the really bad G.I. Joe movies from 2009, 2013.
They weren't really bad. They were fine.
No, they were fine.
They weren't great.
They were shitty like popcorn movies.
Yeah, they were exactly.
Which one was better, the first one or the second one?
I heard the second one was better.
Oh, Snake Eyes has got a fucking scarred face and a bugged out eye and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that. You know what? I like it better when you don't show his face. But if Henry Goulding, Crazy Rich Asian star, is playing Snake Eyes, will he want to show his face? Or will it be...
I would assume so.
Because Snake Eyes also reminds me of a member of the Seven. We're going to end the boys that we're going to talk about in a little bit.
They really ripped off his costume.
Black
100%.
Noir reminded me of Snake Eyes like meets Batman and doesn't talk. But Snake Eyes also never talked. He never said anything. He was very mysterious.
I love the way that Snake Eyes costume looked like in that G.I. Joe, the second movie, Retaliation. He looked awesome in that.
I think the live action costume looks sick, and I think it totally deserves a solo movie. I think it probably
looks like RoboCop without the fucking mouthpiece on.
Yeah. It should be better to make than trying to do a whole G.I. Joe movie, maybe. Just
his face in the first G.I. Joe was a little weird, but the second one, they really nailed it.
That's the tits right there. I don't even know if I can say that. Can I say that?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Is that like the bee's knees, but bees don't have knees.
I love Snake Eyes' costume in any form. It's always cool. So we'll see when this actually happens. Let's move on to some DC movie stuff. The closer we get to this Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, directed by Todd Phillips in October, the more I get geek boner. The more I get excited because this movie, I think, is pushing the superhero movie genre. I'll explain in a second, but they have just released a new synopsis that gives you a little more information. It reads, director Todd Phillips' Joker centers around the iconic arch nemesis and is an original, standalone, fictional story not seen before on the big screen. Phillips' exploration of Arthur Fleck, who is indelibly portrayed by Joaquin Phoenix, is a man struggling to find his way in Gotham's fractured society. A clown for hire by day, he aspires to be a stand-up comic at night, but finds the joke always seems to be on him. Caught in a cyclical existence between apathy and cruelty, Arthur makes one bad decision that brings about a chain reaction of escalating events in this gritty character study. That sounds pretty cool.
Like we've talked about, it's an interesting cast. It's an interesting concept. They're going their own way with it.
I can't wait to see this movie, and I know that it's probably not going to be the Joker movie that I would have expected or I just think that Joaquin Phoenix is going to kill it.
I think so. There's already Oscar buzz, and that's why I said that this movie is different.
Oh.
This is. Are you okay? Did you hit your head on the microphone?
Yeah, I did.
You
that
just
again.
passed out for a second.
Well, I leaned in too fast.
Well, he got a head rush in the cotton and fell out.
You got to understand these eyes that I have.
Yes.
There's no depth perception.
No,
at
and
all.
there's no eyelids, so you can't blink.
No.
So you just scratch your filthy
Yeah,
eyes.
it gets really dry.
Somebody squirt some water on it.
Anyhow,
I think this is pushing the superhero genre because now, for the first time, we have a low budget indie art flick, Oscar contending, serious acting movie that just happens to be inspired by superhero.
they
material.
disclaimered the shit out of this. All right.
Yes.
They said this is not the Joker that you know. This
Yes.
is a completely different idea. We're just completely reinventing the Joker. They've disclaimered it to death, so you know what you're getting into. So you're not expecting to see the Joker. They even they went different with the makeup and everything. So they don't even call him. They call him Arthur Fleck.
Fleck.
Which
They
is
give him a name.
a name that no one's ever used for the Joker before.
But doesn't
So-
that synopsis kind of sound like a Killing Joke thing? Failed stand-up comic.
Yeah,
Shit's
that's
going
the
wrong,
vibe I got
right?
from it when I saw the trailer. Was the normal guy that had a bad fucking day or something? Something happened to this person.
Here's another thing why I think Joaquin is going to kill it. He has talked about what he based his Joker laugh on. Now, nothing can be as bad as fucking Jared Leto. Worst Joker laugh ever. He said, I started with the laugh. I watched videos of people suffering from pathological laughter, a neurological disorder that makes individuals laugh uncontrollably. I love that he's doing this research. This dude's going to get method, and I think it's like the little bit of laugh you get in the trailer. I really like that. I think it works. It's a maniacal, unnerving, pathological laugh.
It'd be interesting if he did that thing that people do sometimes where they laugh after everything they say.
Yes, they just laugh at their own
You know
jokes.
people like that?
Like
They're hey, I went to the movies. That was really cool.
Those people are
I think that's
fucking
just
annoying.
a nervous tick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's either nerves or that's just an annoying motherfucker.
Or someone that thinks he legitimately is always funny.
Yes.
Or a puppet.
Or it's a puppet. Here's some other interesting things it's doing differently that superhero movies don't do. It opens in October, but we are going to be hearing about it sooner because at the end of this month, it premieres at the Toronto International Film Festival. Next month, it makes its world premiere at the fucking Venice Film Festival. Traditionally, these are like your Oscar contending, indie, really serious movies. And this is where the Joker will first be seen at these film festivals. It's crazy. I love it.
Let's see what happens.
Yes.
As far as how much money it will make in an October release, the early estimates have come out now. For comparison, Aquaman made $67 million opening weekend, domestic. Shazam made $53 million opening weekend.
It's going to be a little bit between those two. Maybe a little less.
They're saying anywhere between $60 to $90 million.
Oh, shit.
On its opening weekend for a movie that's R-rated and costs $55 million.
It's pretty good. I don't know if it's going to happen.
If this thing even makes a little...
Joker's the most popular villain of all time.
Yes.
Right.
Well, but here's the interesting thing. If this thing even makes a little bit of money, it's going to turn
It's rated R.
It's rated R. It's going to turn a profit for them because of how low cost
Yes.
it is. Now, if it makes a shitload of money, that's great. But this is a one-off. This is not the start of a franchise. They haven't signed him for it. This is it. It's a one and
Does he
done.
die at the end of this movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
Does Batman kill him?
Maybe he's not the He's the guy who inspires the actual Joker later. It is set in the 80s. It's a period piece. But the more and more I hear about the Joker, I'm like, this thing is going to be really different, and it's going to be very good.
Referred to as the clown. Maybe.
What?
Anthony, you think you can make that much money opening weekend?
Do I think I could make that much money?
Could you make that much money hustling on street corner in Vegas?
Yes.
In a weekend? You probably could. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd probably say
53
so.
million? That's
I
a
think-
That's
layup.
chump change.
That's nothing.
Do I think? Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's how I'll answer that.
I don't know. It's R-rated, and I feel like that's going to put a little bit of a...
Deadpool was R-rated.
Yeah,
made
dent in that.
$700 million ultimately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 movies
I think
over $1 billion.
I don't think the R rating means as much anymore. I think it actually almost makes people more inclined to be like, oh, this will be good.
Look, and we're in an age, we're going to talk about The Boys. We're in an age of
I'm so stoked that they're doing this
adult superhero
Good, bring
stuff.
it on.
This is what I think people kind of want, a little bit of balance, and they're bringing it. Okay, last thing in this segment, we're going to have a little bit of fun here, guys. David Malofsky, editor at A Place to Hang Your Cape, who's in the Facebook group, shared a link of something fun. By the way, David, who's been living in London for 8 years, finally is an official Brit.
Oh, shit.
Congratulations,
Talking nerd.
David, for how's that Brexit treating you? Enjoy the Brexit. I don't know. What do you say?
You abandoned us.
Yes, we lost one to
He
England,
no
guys.
longer has dinner. He has tea now.
And we lost one to the UK. That's David. Anyways,
right.
he posted this with the comment, "The best thing ever, Batman." It's a tweet from this writer, Keaton Patty. And his tweet says, "I forced a bot to watch over 1,000 hours of Batman movies and then asked it to write a Batman movie of its own. Here is the first page."
Oh, shit.
This is really funny, but first, is there 1,000 hours of Batman movie out there? Did you just rewatch things? I don't know if that math checks out.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Not 1,000 hours.
I don't know if you made this up or if you actually had a bot write this, but it's a quick one-page script. It's hilarious. I think we should do a live read right here, right now on the show.
Wait, what?
With some music. Anthony, I'm going to direct this. Anthony, click that tweet. I want you to be the narrator.
Okay.
You read the scene changes. Rug Boy,
Yeah.
you want to play Batman or you want to play Joker?
I want to play Joker.
Okay.
How many pages is this?
It's just 2 screens.
Who's Alfred?
I will play Alfred and Batman.
Okay.
And here, let me set this up.
Wait, where's the narrator part?
So anything that's in that's not has a name, like interior traditional Batcave, the direction between the dialogue, you have to read that because even that is hilarious. All right. So read that carefully. I'm gonna
Is it international traditional Batcave?
No. It's interior.
Oh.
That's how you say interior in script
I should have
writing.
paid attention when you first started talking.
Speak. Yes. Generally you should pay attention all the time, but I understand there's texting to be happening. Let me give us a little background music for some mood here. Okay. So Anthony, start up
With the interior?
Interior traditional Batcave.
Interior traditional Batcave. Batman stands next to his Batmobile and uses his Bat computer. He's sometimes Bruce Wayne, sometimes Batman, all times orphan.
This is now a safe city. I have punched a penguin into prison.
Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of Gotham.
Eat a dinner, Mattress Wayne.
An explosion explodes. The Joker and Two-Face enter the cave. Joker is a clown, but insane. Two-Face is a man, but attorney.
No, it is Two-Face and One-Face. They hate me for being a bat.
Batman throws Alfred at Two-Face. Two-Face flips Alfred like a coin. Alfred lands heads up, which means Two-Face goes home.
It is just you and I, the Joker. Bat versus clown. Moral enemies.
I am such a freak. Society is bad. You drink water. I drink anarchy.
That's the best line.
I drink bats just like a bat would.
Batman looks around for his parents, but they are still dead. This makes him have anger. He fires a bat rocket. The Joker deflects it with his sixth sense of humor, a clownly power.
I have never followed a rule. That is my rule. Do you follow? I don't.
Alfred, give birth to Robin.
Alfred begins the process since it is his job. The Joker now has a present in his hand. He juggles it over to Batman.
Happy Bat Day, Birthman.
Batman opens the present since he's a good guy. It contains a coupon for new parents, but is expired. This is a Joker joke.
And see.
Talking nerd.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
I did my best.
There are some jewels in there.
I best my did.
He gets a coupon for new parents, but it is expired. That's hilarious. You drink water, I drink anarchy. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking great. I don't know if a robot wrote that, but that's better than Justice League.
Oh, shit.
I'll tell you that
It was
much.
fun. Yeah.
That's great. Somebody turn that into a movie. Good job, Anthony, with the reading.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Good job reading.
Good job reading.
Good job reading.
Didn't think I could do it, but
Well, now we know the jock can actually read. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, play some promos, and come back and talk about The Boys.
When we were reviewing The Good Boys, that movie that came out?
Oh, The Good Boys, the Seth Rogen movie. I kind of want to see that. No.
No.
The Boys on Amazon right after this, you motherfucker.
Yeah, play some promos for the showmos.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jen.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Henno. We're three friends that talk about mental health, wellness, and our lives.
Through articles and tips, we share what has worked for us on our paths overcoming depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, alcoholism, and addiction.
Come join us on our journey. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just search for The Crazy Life. Remember, wiggle your toes and just keep breathing.
I don't care how you're doing. What's up, or how's it hang?
Hey, my name's Paul, and I'm not an animal expert.
I'm Donna, and I'm not an animal expert either.
And together we do a podcast about animals called Varmints.
Every week we pick an animal, do a bunch of research on it, and bring you some interesting facts about that animal.
But we don't stop there. We talk about that animal in movies, TV, and other pop culture.
And we talk about whether or not that animal would make a tasty dish, and how intelligent we think it is on the scale of 1 to 10.
It's exactly like one of those fancy PBS nature documentaries.
Except with more poo jokes.
New episodes go live every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Or you can visit us at blazingcariboustudios.com.
Varmints! Varmints!
And
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show and you want to join our active paying premium community, join our fan club over at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. You'll instantly become one of our favorite listeners.
Yeah.
And you get access to an exclusive RSS feed, the real RSS podcast feed, listener, really, because all the shows come out there early and there's tons of bonus content, post shows, shitty little stupid things we talk about in the pee break in between shows. Sometimes those are great. Whole episodes, movie reviews, jock talk, instant reaction, tons of stuff. And like you heard last week, if you pay us $10 a month or more, you can force us to watch any shitty movie you want. And like Mortal Kombat, and they do. So after Power Rangers and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Anthony, I think next week we should tackle The Willow.
Oh fuck!
Willow from my youth, starring Val Kilmer and little.
I can't wait to watch
what's
that
his
again.
name? What's Willow's real name?
The little
Willow?
fucker.
That guy's great. Damn it, I'm blanking on his name.
Oh fuck!
It sounds very, very prestigious.
His name was Warwick Davis.
Davis was. He's still alive.
Is he still alive?
I think so.
Let's look it up.
Warwick Davis.
He's still alive.
Yes, and he's hilarious and has done a lot of work.
Find
for Star
a
Wars.
place where I can watch it.
All right, directed by Ron Howard. Anthony,
That's right.
Yeah,
produced
didn't
by
he do
George
Solo?
Lucas.
He
He did do Solo, which is it's competent.
Val Kilmer's in it, in his prime,
Yes.
in his sexiest.
Oh man, we'll have to talk about how Val Kilmer is doing these days because it's kind of sad.
Well, you can't be beautiful forever.
No, you can't. Pre-Batman Val Kilmer. Anyways,
Like, he had way too much beauty for one man.
he flew too close to the sun like Icarus, said his kid.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyways, join our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Let us move on to our spoiler review of an amazing comic book TV show, The Boys, Amazon Season 1. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This 8-episode Amazon show is based on The Boys comic book. The Boys. Do you think Flavor Flav just walks around with this book going, yeah, check it out, The Boys? Big Boy from Outkast is like, this is my favorite show. So this book, originally published in 2006 by Wildstorm, an imprint under DC Comics, went about 6 issues and got canceled because
Fuck 'em.
DC thought it was a little too anti-hero-y for their taste at the time.
Yeah.
Gets picked up by Dynamite Entertainment and goes on to finish a run of 72 issues all the way through November 2012. So if you want to pick this up and read it, I recommend you do. It's only 72 issues long. The book originally co-created Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Written by Garth Ennis, but Derek Robertson he co-wrote it, he created it, he designed the costumes and the characters, and he drew it. I listened to a great interview with him on Collider Heroes, but talking about, this coming to life. Apparently, it was optioned for a movie in 2008 and just sat in development hell for years. When finally, showrunner Eric Kripke, who has worked on Supernatural, and Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, who gave us Preacher, pick it up. I love what Rogen and Goldberg are doing. They are finding really weird, edgy, obscure comic book IP properties to bring to the screen. Preacher, I think, has 4 seasons. Gave him a good start. I think The Boys is even better than Preacher, but it's the same kind of dark tone. On Rotten Tomatoes, 82%, season 1, 7.5 out of 10. Already, Amazon is saying this is one of their most binge series in the first 2 weeks. And during San Diego Comic-Con, before the show even premiered, renewed for a second season.
Oh, shit.
I mean, anecdotally, this show is... I've heard about
buzzy.
This show... Well, yeah, this show's gotten the most buzz I've heard from casual people out of anything Amazon Prime's ever put out.
Absolutely. They have... We talked about, they got Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and the Jack Ryan Show and Handmaid's Tale and Homecoming. But this, everybody's talking about The Boys.
No, I think Hulu's Handmaid's Tale.
That's right. You're right. Handmaid's Tale is Hulu. Sorry.
Wrong again, Emma.
Yes. Not a first time, not a last time. Anthony, give us a quick plot recap of this first season, because it's really efficiently plotted. A lot of stuff happens, not a lot of filler, and it moves really well.
I mean, quick plot synopsis. It's basically about what if the Justice League was bad and run by a corporation that was marketing them and covering up all their fucking flaws and figuring out what they had to say. And the whole premise is one of these bad superheroes, A-Train, who's like the Flash type character, runs so fast that he runs through one of the lead characters, a normal guy working at like a Best Buy. Runs through his girlfriend, and that starts a domino effect of this guy meeting all these boys who have it out for these superheroes. So that's the premise of the show.
An amazing first episode, amazing open, hooks you in. Let's get let's just start a discussion. I don't know where to go. I have, we could talk about the 7, we could talk about The Boys. I have so many favorite moments. Every episode had like an amazing moment. I really thought this is the only show recently that I've watched twice in a row. Like I've watched it, but it's only 8 episodes. It's so easy to just power through this, and everything flows so well. So Anthony, let's start with you. What'd you think?
Sure. I just finished it.
Oh, perfect.
A couple days ago. One of the first shows in a while that Imran's made me watch that I was hooked right from the beginning.
See, once in a while I'll get a good one.
First episode was really good. Overall, I really like the show. It has a good, 8 episodes is a good amount. They're all an hour, which kind of translates to 10 or 12 episodes, really. Like, because a lot of these TV shows are 44 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yeah, but now it's true an hour.
Right. So that helped. It's almost crazy that it came out in 2006 because it seems more relevant now than it did back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just with the amount of stuff that's out. Really good take on the dark side of superheroes and what that would be like. Social commentaries on there. There's dark humor. A lot of things that are like, whoa, what the fuck? The only kind of drawback for me is it's almost so fucking dark that like every episode, it almost is trying to one up how dark it can get.
It gets pretty depraved.
So by the end of it, you're like, yeah, I want to find out what happens. But then also by the end of it, you're like, okay, I need a break from this. This isn't something where I could just watch 50 of these in a row and then feel good about my life.
There's so many moments, like almost 1 or 2 in every episode. You're like, oh, fuck.
So yeah, that's my opening thoughts. Good show. Very relevant to this time, and they went for it in terms of how edgy it could get.
Nice. Ruggs, what'd you think?
I was skeptical of this show.
Sure.
I watched it thinking I was going to hate it because I like Garth Ennis and I love Preacher. And then when this same team that produced it made the Preacher show, which is fine, but it just pales in comparison to the comics in every single way.
I couldn't finish. I started watching the first 2 seasons. I lost interest. Me too. Yeah.
So I was like, it's probably going to suck. And I generally usually read everything Garth Ennis does because he is ahead of the curve. I mean, I think that when he wrote this, he was thinking about, American politics and how, like, the people that we have in charge of this country, they're really, like, not the greatest people, even though they go on these campaigns and they're like, put this face forward of being like this great person. In Hollywood, the same way. They are all righteous and stuff in front of the cameras, but they secretly do crazy shit.
Yep.
Everybody knows about Harvey Weinstein now and all these other people. So it's like, it's timely now because all this stuff is now being exposed, but Garth Ennis always knew the shit was going on.
Yep.
We all kind of knew, like, the really cynical people always kind of knew the shit was going on. You would have seen it coming,
yeah.
And he's like a cynic. He did Preacher about, taking on religion, and now he was kind of taking on the Justice League, the idea of like, who do we admire, and we think these are the great people, but they're really not.
Yeah.
So it's not to me that the Justice League is evil. It's that the Justice League is just like the people that we look up to in regular life, and they're just as shitty.
They're real and flawed like everybody else.
Yeah, and they got like the Ray Donovans to cover up their shit. And, it's very relevant to what's going on. So you have the fact that right now it's really relevant. So that number one draws you in. Number two is it's, they get to the point.
Yep.
They don't dick around and fucking.
There's no filler.
No, they just fucking get right to the point. They get you off and running, and they go to the nth degree in the first couple episodes. Like, they have a guy jerking off in the first episode.
Yep. He just drops his trowel.
Like, okay, all right. They've already gotten pretty far. So,
it starts with her exploding.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone explodes in the first episode. The guy's jerking off, and there's implied rape.
Yeah.
Right away. Right off the first.
There's a Me Too moment right in the first episode.
So it's super dark right from the get-go. Then they fucking... I'm giving away everything, but spoilers. They put a fucking dynamite in the guy's ass.
Yeah, well, the killing Translucent was amazing. There's so many. We'll get into some crazy moments.
Yeah, we need to get into all of those.
But they went for it. Okay, that's the thing. Like, this would not have worked if it was soft.
Yeah. Yep.
It had to be like this to actually make the point of how realistically gritty it would be to have a hero that could just kill people at will by accident.
And, this couldn't have come from Marvel or DC either, which is another thing it has going for it.
It couldn't have come from them, but it came from them.
It did. It did come from them.
These ideas exist because of Marvel.
Yep, it's inspired by our obsession with current obsession with superheroes.
DC has always employed Garth Ennis to do Vertigo.
A lot of Vertigo
do what
stuff.
he wanted to do. I don't know why they got scared of this and why they abandoned it. Maybe no one was buying it.
Well, that's what I read was they thought it was too anti-hero, maybe a little dark for Wild.
It was taking on the Justice League because they were using their characters and kind of like
you see the real influence.
It was too close to home, maybe,
from the Justice League. Have you read the comic books, Ruggs?
I think I read a few a long time ago. I don't know, it was 2006?
Yeah, that's when it started.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it.
I'd never read any of the comics, and I know
it's been years.
It does a lot of the same things and diverges. I
love this movie.
This is like a true adult superhero. I appreciate the fact that it's even more satirical than Watchmen and like more relatable because Watchmen took place in the 80s. This is like right now in the world we live in with the MCU.
And it's made now to reflect the times now.
So
even when it was written, they've tweaked it.
I think the tweaks they made probably improved the book a little bit, I feel. One of my favorite things is the amount of explicit warnings that come up before every episode.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, shit, this show's got it all. It's got nudity. It's got mature themes. It's got language. It's got violence. I was like, this ticks off this is everything I wanted in an adult superhero show.
They give you like the trigger warnings. So you don't have to watch it. And if you don't like it, you've been warned.
The world building is phenomenal in this right from the beginning. You really get the world they live in. I love the commentary on these heroes as gods, but they're also like celebrities, athletes, politician. I love the twists, and I love the commentary on our obsession of superheroes. Well, I wanted more right away when it ended.
I was going to say the world they build is when you're getting into it, you're like, I like this is it's a fucked up world. Yeah. I don't want to live in this world, but I'm fucking intrigued. I'm looking through the peephole right now at this fucking world because this is crazy. it does have a lot of social commentary. There's even one part where it was almost for me a little, not over the line, a little too preachy. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but the episode where
the Believe Expo, and the speech Homelander gives,
the speech that Starlight gives.
Oh, that
is almost as if the writers are telling the audience what they think.
See, I thought the speech that's the writers, and I thought the speech the Homelander gave was a subtle like Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Donald. You bring up Homelander for me.
Let's start with Homelander. I'm going to get into all of these.
He is the best character on the show.
He is the villain of the show. He is the most frightening. If you took Superman and Captain America and smushed them together, and this guy was a sociopath and he was a god.
Yeah, I'm kind of
raised in a lab.
Raised in a lab, cold, no emotion, no feeling.
He has feelings. He's just really fucked up.
Yes, really depraved.
He's a sociopath.
He's a sociopath.
I'm kind of disappointed and excited at the same time by this character because the guy who plays him is from Banshee.
Yes, I was going to say
and
that.
he does amazing fight scenes.
Anthony Starr, who's he's a New Zealander.
And he's not going to do any of it in this.
No, he just stands around. But you know what?
Yeah.
His acting is amazing. So, a great recommendation, Ruggs. This is what I've heard. I started watching Banshee on Cinemax. Apparently, he's really good. He's a badass on this show, Anthony Starr.
Yeah, he fights everybody.
But he's a good fighter. What an amazing, you buy Homelander right away. I'm just going to say the scene in episode 4 where there's the hijack plane.
Oh man, that was almost disturbing.
Fucking disturbing and terrifying, and it's so amazing. But it really gives you a good sense of Homelander, where they had good intentions, but it's also always about the PR in the back of his head. He tries to save them, and do you think he accidentally lasers the cockpit? Did he mean to do that?
I saw 2 different takes on it. I saw one where he meant to do it, to twist the PR.
Yes,
I interpreted it as he did it accidentally. And he's like, "Well, fuck."
So now he's like,
"I really don't give a shit about these people."
Oh my
I'm
god!
outta here.
He's like, "Maeve, we gotta go. We're done here." And the moment where she's trying to save, she's like, "Can we just take these 2 people?" And he's like, "So they can tell them all the people that we left to die." And then he's like, "I will laser all of you. Back the fuck up, people."
Well, I don't think he set out to do that.
Yeah.
I just think that he doesn't give a shit at all, and then he's kind of forced to do these good deeds.
Yeah,
right. I agree.
For the PR or whatever, and so he's not really giving a shit if he's hurting people. He's just kind of going through the motions, and then whatever happens, he just covers it up.
Well, the story though, really, I mean, it's about a number of things, and what they do a really good job of is weaving in all these different parts and then making it coalesce into something that makes sense and not why are we cutting back to this character? But Homelander, a lot of these stories, the protagonist kind of grows and learns and changes by the end of it. And
not Homelander.
No, Homelander does.
Oh.
Homelander starts out as this guy that is basically a puppet.
Yeah.
And he knows he's a puppet and he's trying to figure out his way out of it. And by the end of the show, he's like, my strings are fucking off. I am no longer a puppet. I am the most powerful man on earth. I'm going to decide my own fucking destiny.
I mean, was this in the show? Doesn't he kill the president? No, was that in the show? Was that something else?
No, geez, are you fucking spoiling
Maybe
from
I'm
the
making
comics?
things up, but I think that, he
kills his mom. Mom/lover.
Well, so I think that's another big motivation, his obsession with Elizabeth Shue's character, Madeline Stillwell. And
who is the embodiment of anything negative that you could think of with corporate America?
Yes, she's the head of Vought International, and she's a super slick corporate leader. Also, this character, along with Mallory, there were men in the comics, so they made him women. But this weird motherly, he just wants to please Madeline. In the first episode where he lasers the plane that senator was on with the deal, I thought she sent him to do that.
No,
he was like, I thought this would help you. He's like, I did it for you.
The part where it's real disturbing is not for me. For the first time I started thinking Homelander is oh my gosh, I'm intrigued. Not when he lasers the plane.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
But when Elizabeth Shue, what's her name? Madeline.
Yeah.
Madeline Stillwell. She has the kid, and he's looking at the kid like, you fucking piece of shit, kid.
He's so jealous.
You're taking her attention.
Yes. He wants to suckle at that teat, not the kid.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, that's real disturbing.
He totally wanted her milk.
He was like, I'm going to laser the kid.
Yeah. He's
Fuck
like,
you.
And she's trying to juggle a life. Now, who is that kid? I think that's suspect too. Who's the father? They never really talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe was that baby injected with the compound V? Would she have done that to her own kid? Maybe. Let's move on to Queen Maeve.
People have.
Maybe. Queen Maeve, played by Dominique McElligott. She is your Wonder Woman analogy.
She is.
I
liked her too.
Yeah,
I don't like her name, but I like her. Yeah,
yeah. Her character is great because she is trying to stay true and be a hero and save people, and she's conflicted.
She's Starlight before she learned about the world.
She got jaded. Yes, she's Starlight after
and she still
jaded.
carries a little bit of it.
Yeah,
of that like wanting to still do the right thing. But then she also is like doing her job, and then but she falls off the wagon. She's an alcoholic. She is in love with this lady who she can't admit she's in love with. Like there's so much layers. So many
they
layers.
hinted at a relationship with Homelander before. Yep. I thought it was really interesting. Every time those two would save someone and the press would show up, like she would fade away into the background. It would all be about Homelander. He's such a big fucking egotistical dude. And then we have, let's talk about Translucent that Ruggs talked about. This is played by Alex Hassel. This is your Invisible Man. The Translucent is not in the comics, a new character, a member of the Seven made for the show, but the first 3 episodes deal with them capturing Translucent and figuring out how to kill him. And it's amazing.
Because he's not only invisible, he's invincible.
He has carbon skin, so I love when they shoot at him and it bounces around, and he's just like, you dumb motherfuckers, you can't kill me. And then he gets him by shoving a bomb up his asshole.
Oh, shit.
And fucking Huey detonates it. That was amazing. So good.
Yeah, that was great. They made this dude who was like kind of like not a killer. I'm not going to say pacifist, but probably wouldn't kill a guy, but he ends up being the guy who blows him up.
So they all have
Huey, yeah.
Yeah, so now he's in the shit too with everybody else.
Yes, and he makes that decision. Well, so all of them kind of have, like Queen Maeve, she's alcoholic. That's her thing, right? They all have
They all have little things. They all have multiple faults.
They have multiple. Translucent, I love. He just hangs out in the bathroom and
he's a creep.
He's a fucking creeper.
He has no respect for anyone's boundaries
always
or anything.
in the bathroom just watching people piss and shit. Is hilarious. Yep. And Maeve always knows that he's there. Then we have Black Noir, the most mysterious and least heard from since he doesn't talk, played by...
He's barely in it.
Yeah. He has a couple of some good moments. Nathan Mitchell, who's been on Supernatural iZombie. My favorite Black Noir moment is when he just starts playing the piano. The guy's like, I'm just going to go.
He's got no lines. You never see his face, and he's basically the Batman Snake Eyes type character, where when he does fight, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He just glides around, and he's super agile and knows all the moves.
And he drinks tea on his off time, which I wanted to see how he drinks through that. I love when Homelander's like giving them all at the end where he's like, you guys have all been slipping. I need to talk to you. And he's like, except for you, Black Noir. You've been doing great. Keep up the good job. Gives him props. Then we have Starlight, Annie, played by really adorable Erin Moriarty. Like, you kind of fall in love with
I definitely fell in love with Starlight.
She was in Jessica Jones season 1. You guys remember her?
I remember that. Yeah.
She was the daughter of the Thing.
She's the daughter of the Thing.
I forgot. She
kills herself in that season.
That's right. Her story arc and her relationship to Huey and her having the Deep pull his dick out at her and kind of having her woman empowerment.
Let's set her up real quick because, again, I don't know if people have seen the show. She's basically the one that's been all her small town girl that's grown up all her life wanting to be a part of the Seven, the Justice League evil. Seven. Yeah. It's called the Seven.
Yeah.
And she gets her opportunity. And she's super wide-eyed and like, I'm going to save the world. And literally the first episode, the Deep, who we're talking about, who's the Aquaman type, was like, rapes her. Shows her his dick.
Well, he doesn't rape her. He she
rapes her. What are you talking about?
He forces her to have sex with him.
So it's rape.
Wait, does he actually rape her? I thought
she's throwing up after that encounter.
Okay, I missed that.
Well, she agrees to do it, but it's under duress.
Right.
So she does give him a blowy.
Right.
And that's why she threw up.
But she's immediately like she is the other like point of view character besides Huey, where you're like, I can relate to her. If I was a superhero, I'd want to do the right thing. And then you like get into corporate America and you're like, wow, they don't really give a fuck.
No,
about
and there's
the right
multiple
thing.
instances when they change her costume. She's like, look, I don't want to wear that. That's not my brand. And Madeline's like, sure, you can wear whatever you want. You're just not going to be doing it in the Seven. And she's like, fuck. Right.
Yeah, I mean, she gets in trouble for doing the right thing.
Yes, for speaking her mind, but sometimes speaking her
or like
mind,
saving the girl getting raped in the alley.
But sometimes that goes well for PR, and it's a boon. So all that, and then the Deep, played by Chase Crawford. The Deep is your Aquaman
He's your joke character.
He's your joke Aquaman character, and he clearly a little rapey, a little pervy. Tries to save a dolphin. It goes flying through the window and gets run over by a truck. Hilarious.
He was the I liked his character too, but he was definitely the one that was like played for a joke and weird animal fetish.
Yes, because
I mean, when he's talking to the dolphin, he's like, okay,
he's like, I'll touch it. I'll touch it, but can we get it free first? And the dolphin is super happy all of a sudden. It's
right.
Well, dolphins are notoriously horny.
They are. They always got dolphin penis.
I mean, there is real like the dolphins are actually very smart animals, and they were like touching upon, the way we treat marine life that is that intelligent.
I love when he gets the lobster. He's like, I'll take that one. And the guy just fucking shoves a knife into the knife. He's like, wait, no. And then he just
there's a ton of disturbing, deep stuff. The girl that he gets banished to Sandusky, Ohio.
Yes.
And the girl basically fingers his gills.
She fingers his gills? I'm like, what? But
he gets raped.
Yes, that's what was great is the other side of that. He gets a taste of his own medicine. She's like, fuck you, I'll do whatever I want. And she's shoving his fingers in his gills. It's so weird and disturbing.
Yeah, he was a weird character. For sure.
And then finally we have A-Train played by
the catalyst
Jesse
for all
Usher, who meet in the beginning, looking a lot like Falcon Anthony Mackie with the goggles and the suit a little bit. But he's your Flash, but he's also hooked on the drug Compound V. So he's
the drug, Compound V for those is the drug that makes them all superheroes. They get pumped with it as babies, but they sell it to the public. They sell the PR to the public that these people were born.
Another amazing reveal when you find out, we're like, oh, these fuckers were made. And then the fucking laser baby scene. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
Well, let's just stay on A-Train for a second.
Yes.
I think he's also another intriguing character because there's parts of him where you can be like, I can kind of relate to that. This guy was a little bit addicted to drugs, wants to stay on top, is in love, but like is balancing that with like PR and like his duty to the Seven. But then you also go, he's an asshole too.
Yes,
like
he is.
He really doesn't care about the public. They're always like, you have to write his speeches. He can't just let him improv because he sucks around people.
He runs into Huey and over again doesn't recognize him.
Right.
And his also he's like the athlete and performance enhancing drugs.
Right.
And dealing with that, and then his girlfriend, Popclaw, played by Brittany Allen, a C-lister, used to be in the Seven or never quite made it in the Seven.
I don't think she never made it to the Seven, but she was a movie star.
She was a movie star. Well, and that's the thing is they all do TV, they all do movies, they all do reality shows, they do talk show appearances. Just like imagine like Jason Momoa on Fallon, except he's really Aquaman. He's really Arthur Curry, and in secret he's a perv.
Kind of what would happen, right?
Yeah, it's what would happen. It's amazing. So Popclaw is kind of like a Wolverine kind of thing.
Female Wolverine, yeah.
A best part of her is when she kills her landlord by sitting on his face and having an orgasm and just squishing the brains.
Well, yeah, because she's hopped up on Compound V as well.
She's hopped up on the Compound V too. That was insane, and how they worked her in was awesome. And
one of my favorite moments, getting just back to A-Train in the show, is when A-Train confronts Huey and he's going to kill him in his house.
Yes,
and they sabotage him and fucking Mamiko, what's her name?
Kamiko
fucking breaks his fucking
she just
leg in half.
Down crack.
Holy shit!
That's how you.
But that was a good bit of comeuppance from like, fuck yeah.
The guy's an asshole because he kills his girlfriend because she ratted him out, and he blames Huey when he's the one who pumped her up 4 syringes at once. That was fucked up. I didn't see that coming. That was a crazy moment.
We've gone over the 7.
We got
to go over the boys.
Okay, let's go over the boys, and there's a couple of other powered people that were added that have some good cameos. The boys, let's start with the unbelievable performance by Carl Urban as Billy Butcher.
Yeah, he was great.
See, I actually found his character to be the least interesting.
Really? Yeah. I loved how manipulative
I think he was fine.
Yeah.
I would have preferred the show center. I didn't like that he was kind of the main guy. I would have preferred it to be on Huey. And the reason why is Carl Urban's character is the Butcher. Yeah. He's the one that's he has it in for Homelander.
He's been doing this for a while.
Rapes, I put in quotes because we don't actually know.
Yeah.
Rapes his wife and she had disappeared.
She disappears.
But his character for me was so one note. Yeah. He was just the angry guy that didn't give a fuck.
He does it well.
Like, how do you get on board for this guy? He doesn't really clearly give a fuck about anyone but himself.
Dude, I love when he crashes through the store and beats the shit out of Translucent in like the second episode. But he needs to be that guy. Huey is our
Well,
point of view in.
He's the heavy.
Yeah.
You need one.
You need one. But I thought he did a great job, and the fucking reveal at
The real at the end.
But the end was crazy, where the doctor tells Homelander that Rebecca, his wife, had a baby. She impregnated her, but then the baby clawed its way out, and she died. And then they show you that. It's fucking horrific. But then he, at the very last thing you see is Homelander brings Carl to a house, and it's Becca, and she's raising fucking Homelander's kid.
Oh, shit.
As her own, for 8 years, no contact. And poor Billy's been wondering for 8 years. He has that video where she gets up and just walks away. What has happened? I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, that's a...
I knew that. I saw that coming a mile away.
I knew there was something up, but
Yeah.
I didn't guess it'd be that.
Twist after twist. Another thing this show does great. Let's talk about Huey Campbell, our main
I like
guy,
Huey a lot.
He's played by Jack Quaid, son of Meg Ryan, Dennis Quaid. He is a Quaid. A guy I could relate to because he's a guy who's too fucking pussy to ask for a raise at work. What Robin's like, you need to get what you deserve. And even his dad is like, son, you're not made out for this.
His dad is super content with being just having the life that he's had.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg.
And here's a great Easter egg about Simon Pegg. Derek Robertson initially modeled the character of Huey from the comic book off of Simon Pegg after he watched the show Spaced.
Right.
So he literally drew Simon Pegg as the character, and luckily enough, Simon Pegg was cool with it. And so for them to cast him as Huey's dad is
Geek boner.
That's a great nod. But
the show for me rests on the fact that Huey and Starlight's relationship is, they kind of just find each other, which when it doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
They just happen to sit on the same park bench.
Weird, yes.
But there were they happen to just go on dates and no one bothers them, even though Starlight's a super popular superhero.
Yeah.
So none of that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for me, at least, the show rests on the fact that their chemistry together works so well
So
that
good.
I go, you know what? A lot of this doesn't make sense, how they're just hanging out in public or the way they meet.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just like their romance.
You're
I'm
rooting
in.
for them, and they do get to bang. I did love the moments where every time Huey starts to have actual feelings for Starlight, Ghost Robin shows up and reminds him.
Right.
She's like, hey, these fucking supers killed me. What are you doing? Clone the phone. Get on
But
with the plan.
He's finally able to shake that by the end and then start making decisions that are in line with his beliefs instead of just revenge decisions.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think Huey's better off being? A dude who works at Best Buy that can't even ask his boss for a raise? Or a guy that fucking does shit and is doing shit that he wants to do?
He feels more alive.
Obviously, right?
Yeah, when he's doing
this is his
shit.
Tyler Durden moment.
Absolutely.
It's his getting comfortable with who he is in his own skin.
And he
doesn't necessarily need to be a badass, but he needs to be comfortable with any decision he makes.
And I think he needs to show his dad that he's not as delicate and fucking as his dad thinks he is.
The big moment is at the end when him and A-Train have the confrontation, and A-Train dies, has a heart attack, and then Huey, badass Huey that was seeing his girlfriend would have been like, fuck this guy, he's dead.
Right.
But normal Huey, who is comfortable with his own skin, is like, no, I'm going to try to save him.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him CPR. We need to get him help.
Yeah. It's that, he makes the right decision.
That's who Huey, well, it's just who Huey is.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily right or wrong. It's what Huey would do.
And
he's not a killer.
Right. Like Billy Butcher would have let him die. Any of the other guys would have let him die.
He's just taking control of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just taking control. He's through just taking bullshit.
You root for him throughout the season.
I'm intrigued to see what his character will be like in the next season.
Where does Huey end up at the end? That's the last thing Huey does, I think, right?
He leaves.
Yeah, he just leaves, right.
He leaves and Starlight calls the cops.
That's right.
Or calls the paramedics.
Yeah, she tells him to get out of here. And then we have Mother's Milk, played by Laz Alonso, who, this dude's been in Avatar. He was in Fast and Furious 6.
I don't think we got enough of Mother's Milk.
You get his relationship. I love where he's like suddenly on the phone with his girlfriend. He's like, I love you too.
All the time.
I get
All the
that.
time.
And they laugh at him. But what was his role? He's kind of like
he's the one that's locked up with the girlfriend and he's trying to do the right thing. But the problem with Mother's Milk, and to a little bit of a degree Frenchie and just the boys in general, is the 7 are so much more interesting than the boys.
A little bit. I could see that.
The 7, at least for me, the 7, and whenever it cuts to the 7, I'm like,
Ooh.
I want to learn more.
Yeah.
Whereas when it cuts to some of the boys, I'm like, let's get back to the 7.
The 7
Well,
are
because
great.
they're building this intrigue about, like, not first of all, how they're being owned by this corporation,
right?
And all of this stuff, that all the factors of like how they are a product basically, and they have to like they lose their humanity, even though and it's been done by design. Like they were injected with stuff. There's this huge lie. There's all of this conspiracy going on, and we don't even know the half of it yet. So there's that building that anticipation and mystery.
It's super interesting to see how this corporation operates from the inside, the way it's set up. And
I love the PR lady and like the marketing team.
Yes.
I'm fascinated by these B teams and these C teams. These D. I want to see more of that. Like what's a D level team like?
Oh yeah, like
what's that about?
Right in the beginning when they're like, we'll license so and so for you to Baltimore. I know Baltimore has a ton of crime.
Yeah.
We'll give them to you for $300 million.
Yep.
You can have this guy.
And
like they license out the fucking heroes to different cities. That's even really cool.
I mean, their plan was like, we have 200 heroes. They want to put one in every city, and it's like a franchise on a huge level.
Right.
Make it, and I love how he's like, we have the savior of Sandusky. You could stay here, Deep. Deep's like, I'm going back, right? He's like, yeah, no, not so much.
Cool water park.
Cool, yeah. He's like, cool water park. And then Mother's Milk partner Frenchie. These two they work better together, I thought. Than individual. Frenchie played by Tomer Capone, and he's like the tech guy, and he can do a lot of things and make bullets.
Well, he's the tech guy, and he's the guy that doesn't always follow the rules. He kind of like goes on his own hunches, which ended up costing them. Like what was it? Mallory's kids get killed.
They refer to an incident with Mallory and Lamplighter, who torches
they at
his
least
kids.
gave him the female character.
That was a great
to bounce off.
Yes.
I liked him. Yeah, I liked him.
The female played by Karen Fukuhara Katana from Suicide Squad.
Geek boner.
Their
By the way,
connection was
shout
great.
out.
Yeah.
Well, before you get into her when you first see her, the people that are holding her are Filipinos.
Oh, shout out!
And they're speaking Tagalog.
They are. They got the Filipinos in the show, Anthony.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Way to go. They need to put
And then they get clawed the fuck off
by her.
her.
And she is powered. We don't know the extent. We know she can't be killed.
She's basically Wolverine, or like not Wolverine. What's the Japanese lady in that's Wolverine's nemesis?
Shriek? No.
No.
From the movie,
Lady Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike.
Yes. Yeah, she's super strong and fast and can't die. Got amazing healing power.
Well, she is your first window into the fact that Vought is creating supervillains.
Yeah, and it was Homelander who sent the shit over there.
Right, because Vought and was it Homelander?
Homelander was the one who sold the terrorist, the Nakib one.
Right.
He brought it over there. But so this is to force the government to sign a contract and put him in the legal
thing
defense.
Going on with this.
So that's even intriguing.
That is
as well.
very fascinating. Like
So the goal is that what's going on is that they're trying to get this bill passed that superheroes are part of the military
and they can be sent overseas and do
the
stuff.
allegory to us would be privatizing the military.
Yeah,
right.
Imagine, but that's the thing. Imagine Superman existed. If you were the United States government, wouldn't you want him on your side in the military?
Imagine, we're talking about them a lot. Imagine Disney owning all
Yes.
all the nukes and being we'll run the military now. Just give us the contract.
Yep.
We got all the weapons.
Disney is like Vought,
right.
Outside of the all the bad stuff. Well, some of the bad stuff.
There's some bad stuff.
But the Disney Vought, even though they're using the Justice League, the Disney Vought parallel is there, and
absolutely,
it's huge. Frenchie, what else? Frenchie, the female. I want to give a shout out to some awesome cameos. Well, there was Ezekiel, who is not in the comics, who
is the Mr. Fantastic, yet he's a priest who is super like evangelical.
Wants to pray the gay away.
Except he's gay as hell.
Yeah, except he's in the nightclub. And the way they show one guy's giving a blowjob, and then he stretches over to the other table to two other dudes and raps and starts making out with them. It's so awesome.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that's disturbing. And the fact that you have A-Train going, man, I ran so fast, I swallowed her.
And they start laughing about it. They're like, I swallowed
like a bug on a windshield.
Dude, if you watch that initial scene, you see like her jaw, her skull, Like, it's so graphic. And I'm like, holy fuck, look at this. You see all the parts. So much graphic violence.
I mean, they literally, every episode, were trying to one-up how dark they could get.
And they managed to do it and keep you guessing and keep you twisting. And then there's also a dude named Mesmer, played by one. Listen, this guy is one of my favorite child stars who's having a great comeback. Haley Joel Osment playing Mesmer was great. But Haley Joel Osment was on Future Man on Hulu. Great in that. He was on Silicon Valley. Like, he has managed to not be a joke as an adult coming from the kid who sees dead people in Sixth Sense.
Well, this is like a pretty big part for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, his death is extremely fucking violent.
And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, Billy is just looking at him, and he's Mesmer's ratted him out at this point, and then he just slams his head into the fucking sink. I was like, holy fuck.
And they keep the camera shot on the face so that you can see his face slowly, like,
it's getting
quickly
smushed.
being mangled and smushed.
And he's repeatedly hitting. So that's up there. That was disturbing. That one scene where
that's Quentin Tarantino level.
It was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it
was.
reminded me of.
Yes, it was a lot like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, actually, at the end of the movie, that scene. I love when Homelander squishes that dude's head. And then when Homelander kills fucking Madeline at the end, that was also shocking. Well, I got to mention, one of my favorite things about Homelander, every time he shows up, I love when he's always like, you guys, you're the real heroes. Come on, give it up. You guys are the heroes. Like, so patronizing. It's so pitch perfect.
He's just like programmed to just be a fake ass.
Yes, he does it so well, and it's so good.
You know what I thought of when I was watching this? I was like, what does this remind me of that I've seen recently? And it's not, this is obviously to the next level.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling like this, really enjoying this type of thing when I was watching the first Kick-Ass.
Yes, yeah, I could see
I was like,
that.
this is the same kind of, like, I could see these two worlds living together.
And Kick-Ass is the same kind of thing, just regular people.
I mean, it's regular people, it's kind of a commentary on superheroes and
getting
what
their
that
ass
means.
kicked, and it's dark.
Like Kick-Ass 1, I mean, the guy gets, like, brutally stabbed in the stomach.
Yes, right in the
off
beginning,
bat. You're like,
yes.
you're like, this is a high school, oh my God,
Yes,
this is
he's gonna
crazy.
die.
It's too bad that Kick-Ass 2 went really off the rails.
I don't even remember 2. I watched it. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I remember
They went
the first one.
to the nth degree on shock
But the
value.
comics weren't as good either, so it's like it's par for the course.
Well, I mean, I read that the first scene where the Deep kind of rapes Starlight in the comics,
tell
they
them
like
about
run
this.
a train on her.
They all
she calls for help.
Yeah, they all they at her. So they
definitely
toned it down a little bit.
They toned it down, and they made Starlight more of a point of view character and more important character rather than just like getting her ass fucking abused.
Yeah. She's not as victimized.
Garth Ennis doesn't fuck around.
No.
He gets really dark.
That's the same thing
He's
in
very
Kick-Ass.
cynical.
Yeah.
As in the comics too, there's real fucking dark.
Yeah, that's a change from the comics. The other thing, like I said, Stillwell and Mallory were dudes.
What did
Wait
you guys
till
think
find
of?
out about Black Noir?
Oh, so
don't get into that yet.
Joe
Don't
from work
spoil that for me.
put up a video. There's a bunch of videos of explaining all these characters now. You can look up, and the Black Noir one is, if they do any of that, it's fucking crazy.
What did you guys? So we talked about the characters though, but we've hinted at it. What did you guys think about the story, the plot?
It's kind of like the plot's pretty simple in a lot of ways, but I mean there is a lot of intrigue, as I always say. Like it's a through line. It's Huey wants to get revenge, and he got some guys that want to do it too.
Right.
And it's very simple. Like that's a very simple revenge plot. And then, but as you learn about the characters, all these other things are at play. So you have something easy that you can latch onto.
Which anyone can latch onto.
Yeah.
That's the oldest story in the book, almost.
And then you got Starlight, who's also like a parallel story that she wants to do good, and she finds this corrupt society. And you got these two things playing with each other, and then you have all this other stuff unfolding. So there's levels, and
I agree.
And I think it's interesting. It's not just like, like Jessica Jones will take one plot point and then drag it out for 6 episodes when they're taking one plot point, getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're always doing something. Like the first episode, they capture a guy and blow him up.
Right, and Translucent is dead by the end of the second episode.
Jessica Jones, it would be like 6 episodes in that she'd finally do something.
I found it super efficient, no filler, very tight, weaves in things well, moves well.
What I really liked is, I agree with Ruggs, that they had a very simple plot, but as you went down the story, there were more layers to what this world
gets
had, and you're
meatier.
like, whoa. And also, each episode had its own little like through line of what was gonna be accomplished by the end. Like the first episode is like, okay, like you're introducing Huey and this girl getting killed, and like these superheroes are kind of fucked up. And then the second episode is like, they got to figure out a way to kill Translucent, and then so on and so forth. Like every episode has its own little mini plot that has to be accomplished by the end.
And it's set up perfectly. It's perfectly structured to the point where I wanted more.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a great 8 episodes, but like I could have spent another 8 hours.
Now, one of the reasons that I'm not really super critical about this and that I was able to enjoy it was because I didn't read the comics all the way through.
Okay.
So, but Preacher, I read the comics and I was like disappointed in the show. I think this is a better made show. This is a more digestible show. In a lot of ways, I said, because the plot line is very simple. There's not a lot of like magic to explain and all the bullshit that they have in Preacher.
The problem with Preacher is I never thought it quite captured the comic book the way this thing probably does.
I don't really know if this captures.
That's a good point. I've never read it.
Like as I said, I have to say that as a disclaimer because if I would have read the comics, I might have a completely different stand on this. So I don't know what the people who read the comics, who read them, think of the show. Do they think it's a sellout? Do they think that it's like a pale comparison? Do they think it's milquetoast compared to what really happened in the comics?
We've already discussed how they've toned back.
I haven't read the comics, but I read that they did tone it down. The comics are even
more violent and depraved and fucked up. But that becomes almost too cartoony and two dimensional. You know, I like how Homelander is very nuanced, and all the characters are, and it's a little more.
It helps that a lot of the villains, the 7, are nuanced, because if they were all just this evil on top of evil on top of evil, for me that wouldn't be as interesting as the fact that, you know, Homelander's been fucked up because of this, and A-Train actually does care about like this girl, and Queen Maeve is, you know, she was Starlight, like all these parts of the characters. I'm like, or like the Deep at the end of the day just wants to be accepted, right? Like he just wants to be a part of the team.
Wants to
like
be,
he right off the bat he's like, I'm number 2, and then right away when Homelander talks to me, like, oh, he's clearly not number 2.
No, he's got his hand on his throat.
Right.
It's similar to how Walking Dead took the Governor, and in the comics, the Governor is just like a 2-dimensional evil, over the top evil diabolic, like clearly, and they made him a little more nuanced and likable, and I thought they did a good job with that. So let's, what do you want to do? Should we rate it? What do we think? What do we think is going to happen next season?
Did we want to, what was the craziest, most disturbing scene for y'all?
God, there's so many.
I mean, they're all disturbing in their own way.
The one that was most disturbing for me was the baby jetting out of the lady's pregnant stomach. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, clawing out of her stomach was pretty. Popclaw smushing that guy's brain is pretty fucked up. Like
that's fucked up.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, that was really like it soured that moment.
Dude, honestly, I think episode 4, the hijacked airline, like that is the epitome. Like that to me was like the most.
Yeah,
fucked
that
up
really turned my stomach a little bit
out of all the crazy shit that's happened.
Because Maeve is the one that sells that scene.
Yep. You
because
were
her conflict there. It was palpable. So,
and what's interesting is I was like, why can't Homelander just grab the plane like Superman does, fly it, and gently land it?
He says it'll like capsize or something.
He's like, I'll rip through it. He's like, what am I supposed to stand on? Air? I can't push off anything. But it's all excuses because he wants it to go down so he can fucking spin this whole thing.
I don't think he wants it to go down. I just don't think he cares.
Oh, he didn't care enough to like try.
I think he knows how. I think he's smart enough to know how he can spin it.
Right, and then once it goes down, he figured out a way to be even in better graces with Madeline.
Another Easter egg, that speech when he gives, when the cameras are there and the cops are there, and he's like, "We hear you, and America hears you." George Bush gives the same speech at 9/11 on the grounds, so it's like a direct commentary. A lot of thought went into a lot of these lines and what they did, and I really appreciate that.
One comment for me. So I was watching the show, Madeline Stillwell's character, Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
And I'm going, man, I think I still find her attractive, even though she's like in her 50s. And I'm going, where did I see her before? Then I looked her up, and first movie that pops up where I go, I had the biggest crush on her.
I know you're going to say
Karate Kid. I was like, oh my
you
God.
were going to say Karate Kid. No.
No, Karate Kid. Not Back to the Future.
Not Back to the
Karate
Future.
Kid.
No, for me, Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh,
Leaving Las Vegas.
And then Leaving Las Vegas, she is the most sexiest you're ever going to see her in that movie.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Nick Cage plays a drunk who is determined to drink himself to death. He meets her. She's a stripper and a dancer, and it's just a movie of their two kind of codependent relationships. It is so good. Leaving Las Vegas is an amazing movie. Check it out. But Elizabeth
Very
Shue,
dark,
it's
yes.
very dark. I've always had a crush on Elizabeth
Karate
Shue.
Kid was for me just because as a teenager seeing that movie.
She was
I
Danny
go,
Russo's
she was the
girlfriend,
girl,
right?
She was the girl next door, yeah.
Yeah, she's the
hot girl that falls for him.
He stole fucking the dude's girlfriend, according to what's his name?
I think
can't
that
remember.
now that she's back in, because you haven't seen her for a while.
Yeah.
She's going to do Cobra Kai.
Oh shit! Yes, she needs to be on the show. Coming back.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the second.
Stole
the next
Johnny's
season.
girlfriend. That's all. Fucking Daniel LaRusso is a little piece of shit. I'm totally on team the other guy. His point of view makes more sense. This kid comes into town, takes a girlfriend, beats him up in front of his friends. What a dick Danny LaRusso is.
I don't buy that.
I don't like it.
But I do like Johnny.
Johnny's
in
fucking
Cobra
great. Okay, so at the end of the season, we have the reveal of Becca and the baby, and Homelander's gone full fucking evil. He's killed Madeline, the head of Vought. He probably wants to take over the country and the world. What do you guys think is going to happen? What do you want? What would you like to see? I'd like to see more of characters like Black Noir and some of the other powered people that we didn't get to see a lot. The 7 now is down to 5.
Right.
So Billy Butcher's plan is kind of working. Billy still wants to kill Homelander. I don't know if it happens.
I mean, for me, the main intrigue is how the fuck are they going to kill Homelander?
Exactly. I don't know how
I
you
think they're
kill
going
this
to take
guy.
some Compound V.
And supercharge him until he explodes.
No, they're going to.
Oh, they may take some Compound V. It may come to that. Yes, that's a possibility.
It depends. How are you going to go to war with Super?
Also, does that kid have powers? Fucking Homelander's
Well, there's
kid?
also
Definitely.
the fact that you have super terrorists.
Yes, then you got to deal with Nakib. And maybe and you got to get the female back to her country to find her brother or whatever. And there may be other super terrorists.
The female.
I love that she's just called the female. But man, I can't wait.
It can go a lot of places. I don't know where it's going to go.
I'm very intrigued.
I wish it was out now. They put out a photo from the set. They're shooting it already.
I'll tell you what they did right. Number 1, 8 episodes.
Yes.
That helps a
Yes.
lot. Because they have to cut out all the fat.
Yep.
There's none of these episodes where you're just like, this was a complete waste of my time.
Yep.
What the fuck is this? Like, what? I don't care about this character. Every minute of this is important, pretty much. So that's a huge thing. And number 2 is that they leave so much open in the air that can be talked about. There's all these different ways the show can go. And there's all these like kind of conspiracies and things that we can get into. So I think that there's a lot of different directions it can go. Huey's story, Starlight, what's going to happen with that? There's a lot of things left open.
Absolutely. I'm very intrigued. The fact that Homelander lets Butcher see his family.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It almost is making me think, is there a little bit of humanity in him?
No.
Or is
he's rubbing it in his face?
Or is he rubbing it in his face? Or is Butcher gonna are they going to share some sort of bond over this family? Like, what's going on there?
He's like, hey.
Well, I think he brought him there to just fucking be like, yeah, you're fucking wasting your time, you dumbass.
Well, I saw it like that, but I also could have interpreted it as, dude, we both were being lied to.
Yeah.
We're both in the same boat here.
That's true. We
both got lied to by the government.
You think that this superhuman god has any kind of inkling for respect for another human being?
Probably not. I mean, he was born in the fucking white padded cell.
They believe they're gods. And I love that line, translucent is like...
Oh, he doesn't believe... he believes he's better than everyone else.
Yeah, he believes he's better. Now he knows.
He knows he's always known that he was not really a born with this.
Oh. You think
he knew? He knew from the beginning
that he was right because of the
he
doctor.
was raised in the lab. Yeah.
Well,
that's why the blanket gets to him. He's like, "What? Don't fucking put that there."
So I didn't understand the blanket. Why was he upset that the blanket was in the set?
Because it was his only thing that he had from childhood.
That was his actual blanket.
It was his actual blanket, and then he threw it on set
Everything
to make
else
him
was fake.
Feel like it was his home, and he got offended by it.
I mean, there's so many great moments where he goes to Madeline. He's like, you ever go to a house where everything's all fake and you're supposed to talk about how you fucking love it and you live there and none of it is real? I was like, damn, man, they're making him go through some shit. I also love when Translucent is like, you guys are just bags of meat. He's like, how are you gonna, you can't kill us. We are gods. You're just blood in a bag of flesh, which is how they see them, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, this is what I think might happen. All right. So they need a superpowered heavy to combat. Either they take the V juice themselves or Starlight joins the cause.
I think Starlight's going to turn and join the boys. Yes.
Well, she's already kind of on the boys.
Yep.
But I don't think that she's violent. She's not like she's still like this kind of like optimistic person. But like, is she gonna have to get dark in order to fucking fuck with these guys?
Huey's gonna have to talk her into killing a motherfucker.
Maybe they can turn Maeve too.
She's on they can turn Maeve.
Yeah.
She's on the path, because she learned that her life was a lie.
Yeah.
So that would fuck you up. They can turn Maeve. They have Kimiko,
yes.
Kimiko.
They got Kimiko, and she's got
they
powers.
Got Kimiko.
Yeah.
She's got powers.
Girl powers.
And then
they can even it up a little bit.
They can take some Compound V.
And there's also the fact that you can play on the fact that Deep is probably holding some resentment against Vought.
Yeah, because he's been pushed aside.
Right.
You could turn him, and then it'd be a great way for him to make up to Starlight.
And then she still fucking kills him.
But you know what? That's not cynical enough.
No, it's not. That's way too hopeful. Yes.
There's a lot of dark shit to come.
Everything cynical happens in this show.
There's not going to be a happy ending to this story. It's going to be...
it's going to
be terrible.
Yeah. Before we rate it, I got one of my favorite moments. I love that there was a support group for survivors of superhero.
Another disturbing thing.
And the dude's story where he's fucking the ice girl, and he goes, "Yeah, she turned into ice as she climaxed, and well, my dick froze off." I was like, "Oh,
terrible."
Shit.
Is that dude the guy that works in marketing? I thought it was the same dude.
Oh, I don't know. That might be a tie.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Dude, there's so much. I watched this twice, and there's still things that I missed in here. That's amazing.
I can't believe you watched it twice.
I did. I loved it. I just let it roll again. It was great.
Oh, shit.
I don't think I could watch it twice.
I can watch
moments.
Yeah. I
don't know about the whole thing.
Well, I kind of had it on, and I would just pay attention when there was like the good moments that I wanted, but I just kind of, But it is pretty fucking dark to have to watch twice. Okay. Want to rate it? What would you give this? Out of a 10, season 1, what do you got, Anthony?
I would go 8 out of 10, and that's it, because there's nothing to rank it against.
That's true. It's 1 for 1. Number 1.
What are we ranking it
No,
against?
I'm no ranking. I said ratings. Nobody pays attention. Bruggs, what would you give it?
I liked it. I think I'll give it I don't know. Do I like it more than Anthony? I think Anthony liked it a lot. I think I liked it a lot. I think I'm with Anthony. I'm with 8.
I'm giving it a 9. And this,
I love this movie.
It gets both of those.
It's crazy because I'm very trepidatious about it because I didn't read all the comics.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering.
Don't read them now?
Yeah. I'm wondering, should I read them or I don't know. I'm am I going to be disappointed in the show if I read the comics?
I mean, The Walking...
Should I just enjoy it for what it is?
The Walking Dead is a similar thing for me. I don't know if I would enjoyed the show more or less if I didn't read the comics. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, I'd almost say don't read the comics because I remember when Imran was watching Walking Dead and saying he read the cops. It spoiled it, but he would also... All of Imran's point of reference, he would always compare it to the comics.
Yeah. So you end up doing that.
That was always the first thing he thought of was, how does it compare to the comics? How does it compare to the comics?
You can't
if you just watch it for its own sake, I think that almost is a healthier viewing experience.
But this is the thing. This is the quandary that I'm in, Anthony, is that when something that gets pulled off like this, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Then you want to see the source.
Yeah.
I want to see the source.
Yeah.
I want to know what the source is. And I'm like, there's all these great ideas. This guy thought of it. I want to at least give him his due and read his thing.
That's a good point.
And it was similar with Umbrella Academy and that other one, Deadly.
I like this way more than Umbrella Academy for what it's worth.
The point is like the source material, Deadly Class, Umbrella Academy, both are great indie comic books, and it made me want to go read those. I heard Deadly Class is really good, even though it got canceled. There isn't a lot of Umbrella Academy. You can pick it up and read it. But this one, I kind of don't want to read the comics until I see all of the seasons they put out.
You want to be able to enjoy it on its own.
I love learning about this without having any idea what the fuck was going to happen.
It's very rare that, number one, that I've seen something that I haven't read.
Yeah.
And liked it.
Yeah.
So I've seen shit that I haven't read, and the reason why I didn't read it is because I knew it was shit. And then I watch it, it sucked. But when I watch something and it's not only is it par, but it's above par, I get very curious about the source.
No, I'm curious.
I haven't heard Rug Boy say anything negative about the show.
This is amazing.
Because I have something to compare it to.
That's how good.
And that's where usually my criticism always lies in.
Sure.
Is when something is a joke compared to the actual source.
We got no.
Fuck that show.
And we got no.
That's a big fuck up right there.
I mean, there's enough. Do I like the boys? I'm not the show. I'm talking about the actual boys in the show.
Yeah.
I'm not really crazy about them that much.
Right.
I agree.
But I think that all the other things around it are interesting enough, and it moves at a brisk enough pace where I don't feel weighed down by this unraveling story. I'm like, okay, we're getting there. We're going to get there. Like, we're going to get to see what's going on. So it's a lot like Stranger Things to me. Stranger Things, I don't really like the characters in Stranger Things. I just like what's going on.
Yeah, the action.
I can't stand some of the characters.
Is it, would you say it's Rug Boy approved, Rex?
I'll approve it.
Rug Boy approved.
Let me build on it. The boys in themselves, as I mentioned earlier as well, I'm not 100% on. I'm not clearly like loving seeing them on screen all the time, but they did a good job by the end for me of teasing Mallory and teasing the fact that they've tried this before and something happened and Mallory's grandkids got burned in front of her. I'm like, there's some interesting backstory here that they haven't tapped into.
I'm curious, did they actually ever work for the government? Is she part of FBI, CIA? Was he actually in part of the government, Billy Butcher, at one point? All of them.
But that remains to be seen. This next season could be a complete fuck up.
That could be a fluke. That could be a big fuck up right there.
That's a big fuck up right there.
But, this could be a fluke. It could be just like they got lucky.
They could fuck up the second season.
You can look no further than the first season of Jessica Jones.
The first seasons are usually the best of a lot of things. Also, if you think about it in the big
sometimes,
scheme of things.
but the thing is, sometimes the first season you have to. It's like the first movie, right? You have to introduce all the characters, and then once you've gotten ingrained with these characters, you're like, okay, now we can fucking go.
I just like that this thing picks up and goes. When you watch the first season of Luke Cage, first season of Daredevil, even. It's kind of like this slow burn, and I'm sick of the slow burn.
Yeah, true.
I'm sick of that.
That was the Netflix
I was
Marvel
very pleasantly surprised that they told this concise story. They got to something. Like, they actually, the main fucking badass, corporate lady got killed at the end of this.
That was crazy.
So many things happened that progressed the story where I'm like, okay, it's a ride, and I'm on a ride. It's not, not that every episode is like breakneck pace, but it clips along very well. It is a ride.
It moves well. And I think Rogan and Goldberg learned stuff from Preacher.
Yeah, Preacher was a dud because I got disinterested halfway through the first season. I was like, this is not moving they're not handling these things as good as they did in the comics.
You had Ass Face and he went to hell and there was a Hitler and you had, but it was not the same thing. And I think they learned, and I'm excited for them to find the next comic book IP that's undiscovered and, see what they do with that. Cause I think they'll get better.
They have good taste in Garth Ennis. Come on. So,
and you see a little bit of like a Rogan Goldberg, like stuff from Pineapple Express and their other movies, a little bit of that dark humor sensibility they bring to it. And Eric Kripke, showrunner, did a great job. Fucking great.
Was it Pineapple Express where the dude's brain splatters on the front of the window driving? Was that?
No, that's Pulp Fiction.
Right?
Or no, but it was Pineapple Express where the dude gets shot in the head, like gets executed, right? right in the beginning, and they see that
Yes,
execution.
they see it and they run, and that's the catalyst.
Well, that was the thing.
It's a
that was
similar thing.
It's a similar thing.
Yep,
It's like,
yep,
whoa,
yep, yeah.
this movie. I thought this was.
You thought this was a fun
way.
stoner movie,
Right.
and there's a fucking violent killing, and now they're on the run from killers, and you're
Exactly.
like, what? And they're stoned the whole time trying to smoke. Similar thing you have here. It is a ride. Strap yourselves in. Hang on. It's so good. I mean, it's one of the better comic book shows out
I was pleasantly surprised
recently. So
I
good
hope
stuff.
that the next season's good.
Yes.
Because
Same.
sophomore-itis always kills it.
Yeah, but I think they have some more good source material waiting and more twists and turns, and let's see if they can keep it up. Let's finish the show with this. I have a quick announcement. Listener, if you are in the Chicagoland area and you need something to do this weekend, and by this weekend, I mean August 22nd through 25th, 2019, Wizard World Chicago is back on Geek Boner at Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont, and we have got press credentials again. Oh shit! Thanks to Jerry Milani,
letting
the
you
PR
in.
guy. Yeah, they're letting us in for free again.
If you see a
Even
guy
though you
with,
don't practice magic.
What?
he doesn't practice magic. You're saying you don't practice.
I don't practice.
If you see a guy
That
with a
joke
weird beard,
went down. Yeah.
weird beard, it's Imran. Go say hi to him.
Come hang out. I'll probably be there on the Saturday. Some of the celebrity guests that are coming out to this: Jeff Goldblum. You got your Shazam, Zachary Levi, Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina. We got Greg Gunberg. Who else? Scott Grimes from the Orville. Who else we got? Carrie Elways. The big one is Jeff Goldblum. Momoa was supposed to come. Steve Gutenberg from the Police Academy. Richard Grieco from 21 Jump Street.
Oh,
you could
shit.
meet George Wendt.
Booker.
Norm from Cheers. Those are the big ones. Jeff Goldblum, Zachary Levi.
What's the most embarrassing one?
I think you got to scroll all the way to the bottom. Well, Henry Winkler is supposed to be there again. Dean Cain.
the Fonz?
So you got Dean Cain, Kevin Conroy, Lou Ferrigno, who goes to like all of these things.
Right.
Matt Ryan plays Constantine. You got some wrestlers. The last person on here, Katie Forbes from Professional Wrestling. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
You got, you'll have your
Who? Katie Forbes?
Katie Forbes.
I don't know who that is either.
But Jerry Conway, writer who wrote Spider-Man for many years, will be there. Lots of artists. Our friend Gomez, Juan Gomez from Gomez Studios, who does those great jock and nerd mashup sports with superheroes. He will be tabling there, and I'm going to be walking around handing out stickers, trying to get people to listen. Maybe check out some panels.
Yay.
Maybe buy some shit I don't really need, but it's cool to buy because you're at a comic book convention. That's always what
I got a Spider-Man bobblehead.
I got a Spider-Man bobblehead. That's this weekend, August 22nd, 25th, Rosemont. Now, if you're not in the Chicagoland area, here's another thing to look out for on the internets. D23, also this weekend. Oh, shit.
This weekend?
Cool.
Yes, this is the big Disney Expo.
Going to be some announcing
not this
going
weekend.
on.
The next weekend.
Well, when we post this, it's on Sunday.
Yes,
People
yes.
listen to it during the week. That's this weekend, August 23rd to 25th.
off.
It's time shifted stuff, Anthony. I understand. But look for announcements. Maybe Blake Braden will live tweet that on our Facebook page. You can't tweet on a Facebook page, by the way. I'm combining platforms. It's not. How old am I?
You're old.
Yeah, I'm old. How do you put the tweet on my Facebook? Can you help me? I don't know how to Instagram my Facebook page. But D23 expect announcements from more Marvel announcements. Can you help me, Sonny? And announcements of Disney slate. It's good. I don't know. I'm expecting something big for the MCU from D23. Maybe the rest of Phase 5. Maybe the rest of his plan. Who knows what happens? It's going to be great. Good stuff. Okay, Ruggs, where can the people find you online?
You can find me complaining on how shitty Twitter is on Twitter.
On Twitter.
At Really Rug Boy.
Well, that's the place to complain about Twitter, really.
Yeah.
Is on Twitter. Listener, check out the show notes, jockandnerd.com/289. Links to everything we talk about, how to get in touch with the show, how to subscribe, how to support. Very important stuff. And as always, tell a friend, spread the geekery, get someone to subscribe. We will love you forever. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time. They call me Imran's Milk. Does that sound nice? Imran's Milk?
I wonder if Transylvania's got a big hip-hop following.
Transylvania hip-hop?
Yeah.
Trans-hop?
Is that like trans?
I don't know. It's trans.
Trans is the sign of music.
Somebody fly there and find out.